the channel, welcome to a new. Today we're going to be doing my May TBR. So I have, for the foreseeable future, put on the back burner / might not ever do again the TBR again that I made, because I'm finding that those kinds of things don't work for me. I like to have a mood read outside of my sort of set read-along books. Maybe next year, if I don't take part in as many book clubs and read-alongs, if like things are finished and have less of an obligation TBR, I might bring a game back in, but I might not. I might just do it like this forever. So the only thing that I will have, I say that I won't have control over. I don't have control over a lot of my TBR this month for reasons. I don't give myself punishment for not finishing books or finishing my TBR. They just go back on the shelf or rolled over to the next month. Either or. So the only things that I have to attempt to pick up are my self-destruct book and my friend recommendation. I will be picking up the recommendation from Smash, which was Fire and Stars. I will be trying to read that over the weekend. Smash's prompt was to do with my favourite colour, so I'm reading Aurora Rising at the moment, which has purple on the cover, and also black, which are my favourite colours. So we are going to be picking between 1 and 8, because we now only have 8 self-destruct books left. So we're gonna, whoa, let's just change this so it doesn't flip, and then we're gonna press 7. Lovely. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7th book is, you can't read that writing, and now I'm looking at this. I might try and read this right at the beginning of the month, because the likelihood is this is not going to be my kind of thing anymore, and that's The Boy Who Steals Houses, and I can't remember the author's name. I should have really written it down. A contemporary, it's not a contemporary romance. I think it's quite a serious book, and I don't think I'm going to be a fan. However, I'm very excited for the friend picks that I have left. Let's go back to the 3. We have 1, 2, 3. So the rest go down, and this gets picked. And this is Liam. So I've just found my notes from Liam's pick. So the pick for the book is XOXO by Axio, and I will be buddy reading this with him if he's got a chance, if he's got time to buddy read it next month. I will speak to him about that. He did suggest it so we could buddy read it, but I'm leaving this very late to pick this book, so he might already have a TBR. We will see. And the prompt was to flip a coin. I don't currently have a coin to hand, so we're just gonna go back onto my phone, flip a coin. So heads was I could read a book under 200 pages, and tails is I have to read a book over 600 pages. Let's do this now so that we know what it is. So I've just pulled it up on Google, and we're just gonna see what it does. Heads! Oh, so heads, I get to pick a book under 200 pages. I need to read volume 5 of Blue Exorcist. So the books that I am picking up for the month of May is May. This will be a really, really good little palette cleanser, and I've been wanting to get this onto my TBR. I wanted to get it in for April, but couldn't. So this works out well for me. So next up, I'm going to show you the books that are my obligation reads because of various read-alongs and book clubs. So first up, because it's first on the cart, it's The Red Skulls of Magic, and this is, I don't know why I had to look then, but this is for the By the Angel read-along. It's only a short one, unlike the other ones we've been reading lately, which are honky motherfuckers. So there's that. So I'm going to try and see if I can blitz through that quickly, because there are some books on this TBR thick. thick. She thickums. And then we have the Shrubble of a Ding Dong read-along book, and this is Vicious by V. Schwab. We're reading Vicious in May and Vengeful in June, and I'm really excited to get to this duology. I've heard nothing but good things about this, so yes, I'm very excited. And then we have the Christopher Long book, which is Aurora Burning, the second in the series of the Aurora cycle. I haven't finished Aurora Rising yet. I am finishing it tonight after I finish filming. I only have 50 minutes left and I am not okay. I don't know what's going to happen and I am scared, but I'm looking forward to the live show with Chloe and Becca, because Catherine can't make it now, so it'll be me, Chloe and Becca discussing Aurora Rising, sorry, before I move on to Aurora Burning in May. And then the last two I don't have physically at the moment because I don't know where they are. So one of them I don't physically own yet, and that's Girl in Red by Christina Henry. That is the podcast book for #Barely Adulting Podcast. Me and Jem run that once a month. You get 2-ish hours of me and Jem, sometimes with a special guest, talking about a book that we've read the previous month and getting sidetracked by various ponderings. And yeah, it was so much fun discussing Finlay Donovan with Andy and Jem, and next month we will get to talk about Girl in Red, and it's just me and Jem, so let's keep fingers crossed that it's a good one, because we both loved Near the Bone. The All About Fantasy book club is obviously, we're doing the Inheritance cycle, so it's Eldest, book 2 of the Inheritance cycle, and again, I haven't read book 1 yet. I'm reading it over the weekend, and I'm excited to dive into that series because a couple of my friends really, really like that series. So I'm hoping that I do too. I'm then going to move on to books that were picked by you guys. So I put a video up asking you to pick from various categories. I then also put a poll up on Twitter. I've added both scores together and come out with which ones won. I am then going to give you a brief rundown of which books I'm going to use for the Royal Readathon prompts. So yes, again, as always, I am taking part in Royal Readathon, hosted by Becca and Liv, and I'm so excited for the Epic Area round, and I've got a few books that cover like 4 of the prompts, and some of them may have been stretched a little bit, but we'll get to that in a second, okay? The first category was sequels, and the one that won by quite a big number was Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne, and this is a thickums, so I think it is over 600 pages as well. So it is. So had I picked this for Liam's pick, I would have been able to pick this, but this was the one that you picked for sequels. The next category was contemporary, was it? Yes, contemporary. So these were all the Illumicrate Afterlight editions, and I was surprised that Love on the Brain won. Yes, it's a reread. I am also going to need this because we have more thickums to come. This will be a great palette cleanser because I loved this book and it's a quick, easy contemporary to read. Then we had books that I have shown on my radar series. Overall, this won by a lot, but on Twitter it was very close. It was the comments on the YouTubes that put it over. The Peel Stewart one. I will be reading A Drowned Kingdom by Peel Stewart, and oh, the flop on this. And I will be doing a review on this book as well because it's indie, and I will start my indie reviews again. And then the next one, the next category was just indie. So I picked off a couple of indie books from my shelves that I was still very interested in reading, and this could also be counted as a sequel, but it's Shade of Madness by Tiago Abdallah. This was kindly gifted to me for review, and I'm so excited. Look at the Griffin! It's just adorable! And I want one. So that is the pick for indie. And then the next one, the category was She Thick. And I knew that this would get picked. I'm scared but also so excited because Thomas Howard Riley has kindly agreed to send me another one of his books. I purchased this one, by the way, but he's bringing another book out and he's sending me a review copy, and I'm just so super duper excited. And Jesus, the flop. But We Break Immortals won, not by a lot. It was between We Break Immortals and Master of Sorrows, but again, Master of Sorrows won on Twitter, but then We Break Immortals was commented on YouTube more, so that one ended up winning. There's no audiobook for this, and the writing is tiny, and there is an audiobook for Master of Sorrows. I want to get to this so I can read more of Thomas Howard Riley's work, so it's kind of pushing me to, you know, read the thing that's intimidating me. The next one you had to pick was to read an ebook. So this one was probably overall the closest between all four, and The Crew won, but it was very closely, but like, if you're adding the comments and Twitter together, they were all really, really close. So they are all books that were on the top of my ebook TBR as well, so I do want to get to all of them at some point, just not next month, because just the page count alone with these, and then you've got Hunger of Gods on top. This look, these are the books that you picked. So we're moving on to books that I'm going to be reading as part of my Royal Readathon TBR. Some of these are books I already mentioned, some of them are not. So, and some of these have stretched, but Beck and Liv don't mind a good stretch, so it's fine. Okay, it's fine. The first prompt is Pinocchio for Royal Readathon, and that's to read a horror or thriller, and I picked Girl in Red. Coincidincally, it's a podcast book, so two birds, one stone, all that jazz works well. This is one that I've kind of stretched a little bit, I think. So the next two prompts I'm using are Family Dispute and Adventure, which are Snow White and Peter Pan. And for that, I've picked Aurora Burning, because it's kind of like a found family, but they bicker a lot. So that's what I've done for that. And an adventure because, you know, space adventure. That's what I'm going with. And the one that fits the most prompts is one that I still don't have physically yet, but I will do soon, and this makes me so excited. Much wow. It's Shadowgate by Ellen McRae, and this covers quite a few. So it's Lilo and Stitch, Found Family, and if you've read it, you know, the cutest found family ever. And then we have Aristocats, Animal on the cover, it has a dragon. Raya, and which is the prompt is transformation, and poor Fen, it will go through a transformation. And Sword in the Stone is the final prompt, and that is a book of learning, and he's learning more about himself and his past. So that is that on that, I think. Next ones are Shiny Cover, and which is a Moana prompt, and Oliver and Company, set in a city. And for this, I've chosen Regicles of Magic. I think Becca said this, like, this follows Alec and Magnus, and oh, literally one of the chapters says City of Love, so there we go. That's great. It says city in the book, so I'm taking it. And then Ascendant, actually Ascendant fits the most prompts. So you'll be thinking, Lisa, that was part of your poll and it didn't win. Why are you still reading it? Because dragons. Because blind dragon and poor boy who actually, this gives me Chosen One trope vibes, and I'm all about a Chosen One trope. So let's review. This is by Michael R. Miller. This is, say it with me, indie book. There's a theme across my channel at the moment, and I'm not mad about it. So this was kindly gifted by Michael a few months ago, and I've been wanting to get to this, and the big push is that book 3 is coming out. And if you've seen the broken binding, hardcovers. This, you think this is pretty? Unbound is blue. Like a bluey grey colour. And like a really... And it has them on the cover again. And I'm being very animated because it looks so good. And I've heard nothing but great things about this that when people have read it. So, it's... the prompts that this fulfills are underrated book, because this, I do believe that this is not talked about enough, and I think that it's going to be right up my street. The next one, an underrated book, and I can't remember what, I think that's Atlantis, I think. Tangled is a sun on the cover. So I stretched this prompt. So you could say that this looks less sun-like on camera, but this is kind of like an orangey colour in person. And it's kind of like a bright colour in person, but also this is bright. It's like a bright orb. The sun is bright, but the sun is also orangey. So that's that on that one. Talk about strength, which is Hercules. These two have to be strong to work together to defeat the bad guys. And just because he's blind doesn't mean that there's not some inner strength that he's got to hold on to there. This is me just making conjecture, but it's fine. And then societal standards, he's supposed to be like a lowly servant boy. This dragon is like the runt of the litter. So generally the runt of the litter and like the defective one would be unalived. I think that's how it works. And he isn't supposed to, like, you know, save the world and shit. So there's that. And then another one I'm stretching, small community. Unless I can find another book that fits the prompt better, I'm using small community for this, because these two go on a journey together and they've created their own small community, which is those two against the world. So I don't know if they meet other people, but it's that, like, small community, two people together, well, two beings, a blind dragon and a poor boy on a quest. But also, I think Aurora Burning could fit that, to be honest, if I really want to push that, because the found family vibes, the crew of Tyler and the gang are their own little community / found family. So those are the books that were picked by you guys, and the books that also fit my Royal Readathon TBR. And if, perchance, I get through the plethora of books that I have just shown you, there are a few books that I would like to get to. There's this thing happening in June with an author, and I would love to be able to read this before I meet in person Cassie Clare. Exciting times. I squealed when I got the email. I think Becca cried. For one, I'm really excited because I get to go see Becca, and she lives all the way down in London, and I don't get to see her that much. And hopefully that weekend I will be able to get to see Chloe and Meg, because they now live in London. Or by the time this video goes live, Chloe will be on her way to moving down to London. I get to meet Cassie Clare, and apart from The Queen of Air and Darkness, which wasn't my fave, all of her books have just gripped me. Quite a few 5s in there, and I really want to get to this. I really want to get to these two. So these two are more indie books. I just need to not have... I mean, I love my job. I really do. And I say that with, like, total sincerity. The job that I have now, the people that I work with, adore them. Are brilliant humans. But if I could just sit and read for a living and get paid for it, bitch, I would be down. Child of Ashmount by John Palladino. I bought this, but his second book is due out soon, and I would really like to get my hands on a copy. A lot of people that I have similar taste to also love this book, so it's like grimdark fantasy. So that's fun. And I still need to read this, but she's thick too, so we don't know if we're gonna get to that. That's it, really. That's my very small TBR for you guys. And I say that these videos are going to be short, and then they turn out to be almost half an hour long. So I'm just going to trim as much of this bullshit out as I can, and try and just give you, like, the book stuff. Do you know what I mean? And pray for me that I can get through at least some of these. If I can get through my read-along books and the books that you guys picked, I'll be happy. Anything in addition to that will just be un poquito bonus. I don't know how you say bonus in Spanish, but yeah, a little bonus. So if you do like me and you would like to see more of me, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you are here but you don't want to say anything, but you want to let me know that you're here, the black heart is very much appreciated. If you have any recommendations for any books that you would like me to read, there's a Google form down below with these all, so just comments. You can just comment and recommend a book that you think I might like. You all know my taste by now, so have at it. I need more recommendations, and I need a push to read more of the books that I have, because this situation is a lot. And I also hold some more books. We're not going to talk about that in this video. We're going to go now. Bye.
Every time I fall in love, it seems to be